Put a human in a race against almost any animal its own size, and the human loses badly. A greyhound will double your top speed. A horse will leave you standing. A pronghorn antelope can hold 55 miles an hour for minutes at a time, and the fastest human being who has ever lived topped out at about 27. We are, by animal standards, embarrassingly slow. So here's the strange part. There is a thing our bodies do that almost nothing else on land can do at all. And once you see it, the whole shape of our anatomy suddenly makes sense. Start with the question directly. How far could an ancient human actually run? Not sprint, run. The honest answer is that a healthy adult, moving at a slow, steady pace in the heat, could keep going for hours and cover something on the order of 20 to 30 miles in a day, and then get up and do it again tomorrow. There is essentially no other large animal on the planet that can match that in the middle of a hot afternoon. Not because we are strong. Because of two things almost nobody thinks about: how we get rid of heat and how we are built to bounce. Take the heat first, because it is the one that actually wins the race. Every running animal turns most of its energy into waste heat, and if it cannot dump that heat, it overheats and has to stop. That is not a choice, it is physics. Most mammals dump heat by panting. Panting works, but it has a catch. A galloping animal's breathing is locked to its stride because the gut slams against the diaphragm like a piston with every bound. It can gallop, or it can pant properly. Doing both at full effort is a problem. Humans solve this in a completely different way. We are covered in somewhere between 2 and 4 million sweat glands, and we lost almost all our fur. That combination turns the entire surface of the body into a cooling system that runs continuously while we move, with no connection to our stride at all. We breathe however we like while running, which is why you can hold a conversation on a jog. That is the trade. A horse beats you over 3 miles. In direct midday sun over 20 miles, the horse has a heat problem, and you do not. Now the skeleton, because the anatomy reads like a list of running parts once you know what you are looking at. A landmark paper in 2004 by Dennis Bramble and Daniel Lieberman laid this out. And the list is long. You have a nuchal ligament at the back of your neck, a band of elastic tissue that stops your head from pitching forward with every step. Chimpanzees do not have one. Dogs and horses do, and they are runners. Your Achilles tendon is enormously long compared with a chimpanzee's, and it works as a spring, storing energy when your foot lands and firing it back on the next stride. Your foot arch does the same thing. You are recycling a meaningful part of the energy of every step instead of paying for all of it. Your gluteus maximus is huge, and it is not really for walking. It fires hard during running to stop your trunk pitching forward when your foot strikes. Your shoulders are decoupled from your head and your waist is narrow, so your torso can counter-rotate against your legs and your arms can swing as a balance system. Even the balance organs in your inner ear are enlarged relative to other apes, which is what you would expect in an animal whose head gets jolted repeatedly. None of these are accidents, and they arrive in the fossil record together with Homo erectus, going back somewhere around 1.5 million to 2 million years. So we are built for it. What did people actually use it for? The famous answer is persistence hunting. The idea is simple and almost rude. You pick an animal, usually a big one, and you make it run in the heat. It sprints away and disappears easily, because it is faster than you. Then you track it, walk and jog it down, and find it again before it has finished cooling off. So it sprints again from a worse starting position. You repeat this for 2, 3, 5 hours. Eventually the animal cannot dump heat fast enough and stops, and you walk up to it. That is the whole technique. This has been directly observed. Louis Liebenberg ran and documented chases with sand hunters in the central Kalahari, following kudu in the hot season over distances in the range of 20 to 25 miles, taking several hours. Similar practices have been recorded among the Raramuri in northern Mexico and among Aboriginal Australian groups. There is a real argument about how common this was. Some archaeologists have pushed back hard, saying it is rare, energetically risky, and not how most hunting was done. But a review published in 2024 went through the ethnographic and historical record and pulled out several hundred separate accounts of running down game from across the world. So probably not the everyday method. Definitely not a myth. And notice what persistence hunting really demands, because it is not mostly fitness. The animal is out of sight for almost the entire chase. You are following prints in dust, broken grass, a smear of dung, and you have to guess where a frightened animal decides to go next. If you lose the trail, the whole thing collapses. This is a hunting method that runs on reading the ground and holding a model of an animal's mind for 5 hours. If you want the clean modern test of all this, there is one. In a Welsh town called Llanwrtyd Wells, they hold a race every year between runners and riders on horseback over about 22 miles of rough hill country. It ran for decades before a human finally won outright in 2004, and a runner beat the horses again 3 years later. So a horse still usually wins. But a human beating a horse over a distance is possible, and that sentence is not possible for almost any other animal you could name. Push it to the extreme and it gets stranger. The current record for distance covered on foot in 24 hours is over 190 miles. People run 100-mile mountain races and finish them. No training program creates that from nothing. It is exposing hardware that was already there. But the everyday reality was much less dramatic and probably more important. Groups that live by foraging cover real ground daily, often on the order of 5 to 10 miles for adults, carrying children, water, and gear. Not heroic, just constant for a lifetime. That is the actual answer. An ancient human could run far enough that distance stopped being the deciding factor at all. Not fast, never fast. Our whole strategy as an animal is that we do not stop.